Hey guys, it's Brownicus here with Squirrel Team 6. Today we're going to be reviewing my SSG 24 that I purchased this past winter. So I'm not going to get too much into the internals of things. I'm more just going to stick to kind of the cost of the gun, kind of the value of it for me, why I chose it, and more of my thoughts on the accuracy and things like that. So what I bought with the gun is obviously the gun itself. I got the scope from Navrich. I got the bipod, which I actually don't use, but I used it for our shooting range, just because for this video, what we really care about is how accurate the gun is, not how accurate I am, and this just kind of helps be a little bit more consistent. I also picked up it comes with one mag, and I picked up 2 extra mags, and I have a M140 spring installed here, but I also purchased 3 other springs as well. So for me, the reason I bought this gun is I got into Airsoft last year, and I have an M4, and it works great, but I've always been interested in kind of shooting a little bit longer distance, being more accurate, kind of not quite necessarily do the things Navrich and stuff like that does, but kind of have a little bit more fun being outside other people's ranges, making those really long, cool shots, but not camping. I don't do that. The other thing that attracted me to this gun is I wanted something that was going to be good, something that was going to be durable. I didn't want to spend $500-800 on a gun, and then you trip one day, fall, and your gun breaks in half. Now you're spend another $300 just to fix it. So we really wanted something that was going to be durable. I wanted something that was going to have good accuracy, good range, and most importantly is I'm not a tech person. So if you're a person who likes teching and you think you can make a sniper that's better or cheaper, go for it. But for most people, most other people who just want to play and have fun, this is a great gun for that. So another feature I really like about the SSG 24, I have Gen 2 mags here. What's really nice for me is the clear plastic bottom here allows me to see how many rounds I'm shooting, or have left, I should say, in the magazine. And I've been feeding in about 33-ish rounds on average. I think it averages 28. But you can definitely get up to 32, 33, and I've not had any problems with these Gen 2 mags jamming at all. Okay, so going down the length of the gun here, first thing I did was take out the orange tip. This black tip comes with the gun. Just take a hairdryer, takes 10 minutes to remove. Moving down the gun, the bipod, which I mentioned earlier, I purchased this at about $43.50. The scope was $82. And I didn't purchase any other attachments that come with the scope except for the honeycomb here, which was, I believe, $15 for the honeycomb here, and 2 extra mags at $23.50 each. And I've not including the BBs in this, but I've bought several BBs as well. And then the case itself, that price is included with the gun. Alright, so we're at 50 yards here, and you can see shots are a little bit high, which I think is to be expected. I was actually kind of aiming down here, so there was a slight, whether it was going me, the gun, I don't know. But, so at the it's sighted in for 200 feet, roughly. So aiming here is kind of hitting right fairly consistently. A couple odd ones, but, you know, that's a group of about 10. That's a easy chest shot, so. Okay, so we're at about 75 yards here, and we got about 10 shots on the board. 5 of them are on the well, 6 of them are on the target. We had 1 or 2 that were a little bit high, and a couple that were just off. So I mean, I think at this range, you're gonna hit a good chunk of the time on the first shot. If not the first shot, the second shot once you adjust slightly. All right. So here we're at about 100 yards here, it's 300 feet, and we had pretty good consistent shots. I was aiming, even at 100 yards, whether it was the scope, how it was set up, or how I'd sighted in, I was still aiming about here, and was getting not quite as consistent as some of the other ranges. So I mean, 100 yards, there's pretty much no wind right now, so we really kind of lucked out in that regard. And you can see even 100 yards, this is fairly consistent. I was doing pretty good. All right, so a couple things maybe that I dislike about the gun a little bit is obviously it's because it's not plastic, which I consider a good thing. It is a little bit heavier, which not that big of a deal, but I mean, if you're playing in a milsim or something where you're carrying this gun around for 3 hours at a time, you'd probably prefer to have some type of strap on this, because I don't know, carrying around 10 pounds, whatever this is, I think it's right around 9, of gear plus all your other stuff for 3 hours or more, it gets a little heavy after a while. But the other thing I like, but I also disliked, is Navrich has really cool videos about taking the gun apart and everything, and I really appreciate those videos. I took apart my gun to replace the spring not long ago. The one thing I struggled with is the videos only show you how to take apart the gun, and it doesn't exactly work the same in reverse order. Some things need to be put in a certain spot to make sure everything lined up correctly, and I think now that I've done it, I can probably do it without too much trouble. But having no prior experience teching, as I've said, it probably took me 15 minutes to take the gun apart, change the spring, and then it took me an hour and a half to 2 hours just to get the gun back together, because the mag well didn't line up. I couldn't get the thing to snap, the barrel to kind of snap back into place. But overall, not the end of the world, just a little bit frustrating for an hour. So kind of in a little bit of a recap here, the whole price here, so the gun itself, $510. That just for the gun itself, includes the case, 1 magazine. So for me, when I was looking at things, you could buy a $150, $200 sniper rifle, and I'd be hard pressed. Some people could probably do it, but to tech something as good as this, I didn't think I could do it for underneath that $500 price range. Add on the scope, the bipod, which again, I don't really use the bipod, so don't have to worry about that if you don't want. So the bipod, the honeycomb, 2 extra magazines, including $65 flat rate shipping anywhere in the world. I spent about $800 on this gun, maybe $820 on it, not including the BBs. But for $810 to get all of this, I thought was very comparable, very good value. I'm very happy with this purchase. Alright, this is Brownicus with Squirrel Team 6, and this has been my review of the SSG 24. And for anybody who's thinking about buying it, I have no hesitation saying go ahead and purchase this gun. It's awesome. So at about 100 yards here, I had just 2 that were just off the bullseye mark, right on the inner circle here. Okay.